Oh shit, don't leave that thing alone. What do you think is gonna happen there? What do you think will happen? Oh shit. Oh.
Extraordinario. ¿Se encuentra bien, profesor?
Oh shit.
¡Socorro! What do you want? Oh, boy, you nearly scared the life out of me, Mac. You street performers that hard up for a lousy buck? Get away!
Oh shit.
Kill yourself. I won't hurt you. I just want to talk.
Sense a presence. Someone out there who desires to make contact. Oh, Hilly, spread my disease.
Grandma Rose.
Me a hug.
No, don't do it.
Shall get your answers.
Just kiss me, Eduardo. I want you to.
Hi, she's legal. She's correct. Something strange in your neighborhood. Who you gonna call? If there's something weird and it don't look good, who you gonna call? That's right.
All right. So, welcome to Goth-Metal lore. Why is this in Goth-Metal lore? I mean, wouldn't all Ghostbusters be scary or have gothic things to it? I mean, Kylie's kind of gothic, isn't she? So yeah, this show, after the failure that was Frozen Empire, I mean, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I mean, I guess the one big thing that happened is that Annie Potts got to finally wear the jumpsuit. I mean, it happened in the cartoons and the action figures, but Janine, you know, the original Janine Melmitz got to wear the Ghostbusters suit in live action after all these decades. So finally, a lot of Ghostbusters fans got their wish. I mean, maybe it's a little blindsiding. I know, poor Al Smith. I'm going to mention Al Smith. Maybe some of those people that troll you, maybe they were like, oh my God, Janine, you know, Annie Potts is finally wearing the suit. Like, yeah, but the rest of the story, I mean, it should have been two damn movies. I would have gone for the Ghost Apocalypse, which we'll get to in a minute. But I guess that would have been too much like Terminator, where, you know, if they fuck up so badly, the ghosts take over New York. It's an orange sky and ghosts are polluting the city and it looks like shit. So they have to like use an ancient Aztec time device to go back in time and fix what happened. You know, that would have been my idea for a movie. Just like go back, but it would have been too much like X-Men Days of Future Past, I guess. That's what I would think. But I think like in that movie, the podcast and Lucky and Trevor and Phoebe should have been the focus with Winston there. That should have what should have happened. They just want to put everybody, and I think Jason should have directed again. But you know, what can you do? What can one do? But anyway, before there were those guys, there were, I mean, even before the extreme, they had kids, right? And I forgot the name of the kids. Al, do you remember the name of the kids? Do you remember the name of the kids? The junior Ghostbusters that were in Slimer, and they had a couple of appearances. I don't remember their names. They knew Slimer. They hung around Slimer all the time. But here we got the Extreme Ghostbusters. This was 1997. Only one season. I thought the Back in the Saddle was the last episode, but I think it was the Sphinx. And it was kind of like Batman villains, but it was ghosts, and you had to trap the ghosts. And I would say, you know, before we get into the Goth-Metal lore aspects of this, I will say that the Ghostbusters are the one, they're called vigilantes. So much even here, that they're the only vigilantes that can operate out in the open with their identities out there. They're not wearing superhero costumes, right? Even though you remember the birthday party and they wanted He-Man over Ghostbusters. That's a whole other story. But so who do we got? We got Slimer, of course. That's voiced by Billy West. Remember the story about Frank Welker and all that? I wonder what Frank Welker said later on, but I'm sure he was okay with it. You know, it's like, I had watched the podcast with, the Ship It podcast that, what's her name? Tara Strong had done. She quit after a year, I think, so I don't know what happened to that. So you got Billy West is Slimer. I think James Marsden is Garrett, who didn't have his own action figure, by the way. Kind of looks like Ray, but it's not Ray. That is guy in a wheelchair. Maybe it was to differentiate him from Ray. I don't know. But that's Garrett on the left. To Garrett's left is Kylie, Tara Strong. I saw one cosplayer doing the whole Kylie thing. Very, very good. Very tall, lanky woman. To Kylie's left, so Garrett is the daredevil, right? He's the guy that likes to do. Think of the house guest who won the very first Big Brother, right? Think of that guy and white dudes who do daredevil stunts for clicks on YouTube and TikTok. That's Garrett, okay? But this is a 90s show and people had beepers. We didn't have smartphones back then. Yeah, Kylie's the goth girl, and to her left is Eduardo. I want you, papi, Eduardo. Right? Eduardo is like a guy who's like, everybody says, okay, we got to bust ghosts. We got to do the right thing. And he's like, holy shit, we got to go bust ghosts? what happened? Like, we got to go do this? And I think when I wrote my characters, I mean, maybe I was thinking of Eduardo, but I was thinking of this guy when I wrote my fictional characters. I thought of Gino. But Gino is not a good for nothing. He unlike Eduardo, Gino, from my stories, he's into music, so he would not waste a lot of time doing nothing. I mean, he fucks around and picks up on girls, and a bit lazy, but not too lazy. So there's a little difference there. But I like Eduardo. He's just like fucks around. It's like, oh man, we gotta do this stuff, man. Oh man, we gotta go bust ghosts. Okay, we gotta do this all the time, man. I don't know. We gotta go bust ghosts, I guess. I guess. All right, I'm gonna go chase Kylie from behind, and she won't see me coming up behind her. Okay. And then to Eduardo, that's Reno Romano, by the way, who did the voice of Batman and did some Spider-Man. And to Eduardo's left is thinking Carlton. Yeah, the Carlton, Alfonso, who does, this is Roland. Roland, voiced by Alfonso from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And of course, to the left is Inspector Gadget, Pinky from Pinky and the Brain. No, Brain from Pinky and the Brain. And Egon, Maurice LaMarche. And I always thought his voice got a bit deeper. And Egon's supposed to be 39. I'm 46. I'm almost 46 years old. This show came out. I always thought of Egon as an old man, but I'm older than Egon by this time now, right? And Maurice LaMarche, I think, was born in 1957. Yeah. So he would have been like about 40. So, yeah, that's, God. I mean, they always show those pictures of people look older as they get older and people don't look as old. But Maurice LaMarche was mostly a voice actor. He was Inspector Gadget in a live action, was it one of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show episodes? I think it was The Treasure of Sierra Madre or whatever, of Brooklyn. And so, Goth-Metal lore. Now, these are new Ghostbusters. They meet up, and I thought this was how this should have happened in the last movie, because Paul Rudd is a professor, that he would have a college course, so it wouldn't be Egon, it would be Paul Rudd's character, and then you would see the kids going to class, and they're the only ones in there. And that would have set up the Extreme Ghostbusters. And these characters could have shown up in Frozen Empire as like the Boston, Massachusetts Ghostbusters. They would have been the Ghostbusters of Boston, but they were training in New York. So that would have worked out okay. That would have been taken away from the continuity. So I like that these Ghostbusters are just completely dysfunctional. They're more diverse. Chicanos, goth girls, a chubbier black dude, and a guy in a wheelchair. And I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, Alfonso could have played that role in real life. So I mean, they all mostly look like their characters, the voice actors. I forgot what character James Marsden was in Step by Step, but whatever. Slimer took a back seat in the beginning of this stuff and then was more in the forefront. But what makes this more Goth-Metal lore is the content. These stories got more horrific. If you look at the monsters in the back, if you can't tell, they played on the Xenobites from Hellraiser. They played on like a bit of Itchy and Scratchy's gallows humor, which Itchy would always torture Scratchy, and it would be in that way. So people were getting turned into skeletons, and their skeletons would be used as creatures. The Sphinx would torture people. There's that one character played by, was it Dr. Smith, John Harris? He did the voice of, no payment do I require, no payment do I need, no compensation do I require, satisfaction guaranteed. And he would prey on people's wishes and give them the most dark, twisted fantasies that they ever did not want. Some monsters inhabit your dreams. You saw what happened to Kylie getting possessed by a very horrible ghost. There's a banshee. There's a siren. People are getting turned inside out. I'm surprised we didn't see muscle people without their skin. People getting turned into all kinds of shit. People getting vaporized. People getting turned to jelly. Because it is a kid's cartoon, everything has to be undone, whatever the ghosts do. But I mean, like there was such an apocalyptic city in episode 38 or so with the Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters coming back. That means like Dave Coulier and I don't know if it was Arsenio, but I know we had Frank Welker come back as Ray. Yeah. So I think also Billy West was still Slimer through all the episodes. Janine was a different actress. I think I learned something new that they had changed Janine's skirt and to make her less sexy. It's like, come on, just keep her the same way she was. And yeah, Laura Summer I think was the original Janine. I like the original Janine the most. The sexiest one of all of them. And yeah, there was a whole thing between her and Egon, of course. Those of you rooting for Lewis, I know it happened in the movie, but yeah. But obviously they go back to Egon chemistry. And so, yeah, these monsters are more demented. There's actually a ghost apocalypse that happens where you have the same ghost, but from 100 years in the future, in the past. There's so much that happens. A lot of scenarios are happening, right? And it really plays out the way it should have if Frozen Empire had been written better. Because obviously we can't go back in time. We can't go back to 1980 something where Dan Aykroyd was, young and in shape. He wasn't chubby. Same thing for Ernie Hudson and Harold Ramis. When he was alive, he was out of shape. Bill Murray's out of shape. Those four men couldn't do much of anything. I mean, they were the old pros, right? But you couldn't get them to do stuff. My favorite ones are obviously Winston and Egon. Egon is strange, but he's the only one that can solve a lot of the problems. And Winston's more relaxed. But yeah, the 2 episodes where they came back are very good. I feel like Winston had the least amount to do, and Ray did a little bit. Peter Venkman did more when he came back. I like that Egon was trying to do things. Egon was trying to be young at 39, and I didn't even know that. I thought he was much older. That's what Garrett says he was at, 50, 55? That's what I thought, too. But I guess it's how you look. So, there's dark themes. So, is it Goth-Metal lore? There are dark themes. There are dark worlds, especially when Slimer gets trapped in the ghost containment unit. Oh my god, he goes into this hellish world. Now, nothing beats the iconic red sky and floating asteroids from the real Ghostbusters, but when Slimer gets trapped, in order to sacrifice himself to trap a ghost in there or whatever, Eduardo has to get him back out through the suit, just like in the the Scrooge episode in the real Ghostbusters. And Slimer is like taken to this ultimate Satan character. And there's just so much going on. There's ghost cults, there's witches, witch cults. There's the golem. There's some Jewish aspects. There's hate crimes, racism. There's a lot of issues of things, of social issues. It tries to go as far as it can. They have the mole people, which is so dumb, but whatever. It's like, it's like, okay, people knew they were mole people, but they just leave them alone, whatever. But it's kind of insulting our intelligence. 1997. But I remember seeing somewhere in one of the comments in one of the episodes, because I tried to watch every episode. I watched half of these episodes in Spanish, and everything else was like maybe 10-minute clips. But everything else I could find, but it was just not all the episodes were there. Maybe they took them out, and they're on some other channel or other service. Maybe a free streaming service or not. I don't know. But I don't know if I could find it on Netflix. But if I can, great. If I can't, I can't. Because Sony doesn't have a particular Netflix. So the atmosphere is dark. The world is dark. And I remember seeing in the comments section that they told us the showrunner to make it light for kids, and he said no. So after one season, they canceled it because they said the kids would be terrified. I'm like, it's to be honest, this premiered on a Sunday morning, so about 10 to 12 years after Yogi Bear and the Paw Paw Bears and Galtar and the Golden Lance and Johnny Quest, we are presented with cartoons that are not Hanna-Barbera, but still they put something on a Sunday morning. So this got lost in the mail. So either you saw this or you plain well didn't. And I didn't see every episode, but I remember some. I remember some episodes. And this has the same style as the Men in Black, though they did do like a crossover episode where they had two federal agents, but they weren't Men in Black. They were trying to do like Dragnet because hard to get the rights, but I think they were trying to get the rights. But anyway, I still have my Kylie action figure, and that's not the deluxe figure. It's the much more difficult to find regular Kylie figure. But no Garrett. They were supposed to make a Garrett figure, and they never did. So what will I give? What will be my score for this, for the Extreme Ghostbusters? A-. I wanted to give it a B+, but I think there were so many good elements, so many scary elements. I think because it has a lot to do with goth metal lore, the dark atmospheres. People are dying in every episode, okay? But because it is a kid's show, they're undying at the end. Nobody's really dead, except whatever people are supposed to be dead. Any ghosts of people. Even Slimer has a ghost. I mean, how does that work? Isn't Slimer a ghost already? But anyway, there's so many themes that it gets itchy and scratchy, creepy, but not to the point where it's like people are actually dead. So anyway, A-. Tuesday, we'll look at more of Gears of War. Until then, stay dark, my friends.